Okay, so if you're a Catholic Christian, prayer is kind of important. It's kind of a big deal. We kind of have to do it. I mean, you go to the Mass, you receive the Eucharist. That's the source and summit of our faith, and in the Catholic Church, we got all these different prayer devotions, the Rosary, Liturgy of the Hours, the Mass, the most important prayer, personal prayer. You gotta be talking to Jesus. You gotta know God, but it's kind of hard. Like it's kind of hard to do consistently. So I want to make this video to hopefully kind of reframe your mind, not to make you feel consoled about things you should be doing better, but to also hopefully keep you from getting discouraged. So, what is consistency? Because I think a lot I'm not being consistent in prayer because I skipped one prayer time of the day, or maybe doing really bad mental health wise, and I skip some very important prayers that I should be doing throughout the day. Is this breaking from consistency? Well, yes, it is in some ways. But also, what does it mean to be consistent? Does it mean to do it every day? Or does it mean to keep coming back after failing? I don't know. I don't know the complete answer to that. I do think, however, we're not always going to be perfect. We should be striving for perfection. I mean, literally says in Scripture, be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. It's kind of difficult, though, because God is infinitely perfect and we are finite creatures. So that means we have an infinite amount that we can grow, which is pretty cool. And it doesn't mean that we should be complacent in what we're doing. Like if I'm missing a prayer time that I should be doing, I shouldn't just think, oh, well, at least I'm coming back. We should be thinking that. We should also be thinking of, okay, what can I do better next time to have that natural virtue of discipline, or to have fortitude in the face of laziness. Let's take the gym as an example of consistency. If I am on a lifelong journey of training in the gym, I personally do powerlifting, but, whatever, going to the gym, and you want to ideally be training 4 or 5 days in a week. If you skip one of those days, is that a break from consistency? Yes, but in the grand scheme of things, if you use that as an opportunity to come back and reevaluate yourself and strive for more perfection, it helps your consistency in the long run. Now, let's say a bunch of stuff comes up in your life. You miss 2 weeks in the gym. It's happened to me. I don't like it, but it happens. Is it still consistency to take a 2 week break and then to come back to the gym? It's hard to say, but ultimately, I think it is. The thing that keeps us from prayer and from discipline in general, from consistency in general, from doing things that we know we need to do, even from doing the things that we want to do, the main sin that keeps us from doing anything, honestly, is sloth, acedia, laziness, basically. And especially nowadays, with how prevalent it is, how easy it is for us to fall into that sin. Maybe God is using that to constantly have you come back to Him. I'm not saying God is putting this laziness in your heart for you to not come to Him so that you can come to Him better later, but maybe He is allowing you to, because we do have free will, and so He is, by His permissive will, allowing us to have free will, make our own choices. He is allowing us to use our own free will to come back to Him. I mean, God is always faithful. You see that with the parable of the prodigal son. And when we deal with something like laziness, sloth, acedia, whatever you want to call it, and we keep coming back to God despite our temptation to just hide away, to stop praying at all, we basically get to have a prodigal son experience over and over again, which is really beautiful. It doesn't mean that, we should settle for this, that we shouldn't strive for greater holiness. But if you're going through a period of life where you're finding it really difficult to consistently pray, just realize that you continuing to come back, even if it seems like, let's say you missed 2 days of prayer completely, coming back is a form of consistency. And God is probably calling you to more, but He also loves you where you are. And you still get to encounter Him. And most importantly, He wants to encounter you. So, yeah, don't get discouraged. Saint Teresa of Avila dealt with 20 years of not being able to focus in her meditation. Now, I will say, focusing in a meditation is a lot different than just not having the will to pray at all. But, we all have our own trials. And this could be a trial in your life that God is using to ultimately bring you closer to Him. It may seem like it's forever, that you just have no will to pray, that you would rather do other things, that you would rather be like Adam, hiding from God, even though He is with you always. It's kind of crazy to think, if Jesus was sitting right next to you, you probably wouldn't do like half the things you do, even though literally God is omnipresent, like fully omnipresent. Like, it's kind of crazy to think about, but we don't treat Him like that, and we think we can hide from Him, but we can't. So maybe use that as an invitation to prayer. Imagine that Christ is literally sitting beside you, seeing everything you do and knowing everything about you, and use that as an invitation to prayer, to walk with Him always and to grow with Him, because the faith life isn't alone. Even if we don't have any other people, He is always with us, which is pretty cool. So, yeah. Till next time.